Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review. This is episode 10, and in this one we're reviewing the 10th episode of Boruto, Naruto, Next Generation's Ghost Case, Begin Investigation. This episode kind of basically is the start of kind of basically the next, arc of the series in a way, where it's still kind of did with Ninja Academy stuff, but it's kind of the next thing for it, where basically the episode starts off with Naruto, Mitsuki, and Shikai basically on top of a building looking for ghosts, and look like they've been like all day. And it was a funny joke. It's like Shikai, yeah, I have dry eye. Dry eye. I kind of laughed at that because I keep thinking of the dry eye commercials. It's like dry eye, clear eye. I think they threw that in there as sort of an in joke to the dry eye commercials. Yeah, but it was just so funny to end that and go straight to the opening titles. And of course, when he got home after, of course, Mitsuki wrote up an absence note, we see Hinata with her Byakugan looking very mad. I had never actually seen her like this, where she gets where she basically gets angry and uses Byakugan. Usually she uses it for combat or just look at something, but never to be angry at something. This is actually a first. She had very good reason to be angry because Boruto skipped school, and she meets up with Shino. Of course, later she meets up with Shino, which is the first time in the series she's actually talked to Shino anyways. And first time Hinata's been at the school in the series. And of course they talk for a bit, and of course that the Boruto in the office is actually just a shadow clone. And of course, Shino decides to do like a workplace type of thing. It's kind of like an on-the-job. It's the way he describes it is kind of like on-the-job training, and basically OJT. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Even though these kids are probably like 12, 13 years old, and they're kind of working for free at these various places, like Boruto, Shikai, and Mitsuki go work for the post office. Sumri and two of her friends work for the water plant. Chocho and Sadara go to the meat bun factory, which is odd. Awambi and Dekai go to the fireworks factory, and Inojin and Menoli go to the fire department. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. So basically, a lot of the named characters get a chance to do something. Oh, and I almost forgot. For Shikai's punishment for skipping school, getting slapped by his mother. Yep, he got slapped by his mother. I feel you, man. That's happened to me a couple of times. But not for skipping school, for yelling. Yes, happened to me a few times. Didn't like it at all. Anyways, moving on. Of course, Mitsuki doesn't get punishment because his father's not around. Yeah. Though one tends to wonder though, okay, we know we know where pretty much most of these characters live. Some of them anyways. We don't know where Mitsuki lives. He just hangs out wherever he feels like it. Yeah, and also one person I was very happy to see in this episode. He's actually my personal favorite male characters. Sai. Sai makes an appearance. He appears for a couple of scenes, but it's nice to see him. And from what I can tell, it looks like he kept the same attire that he had from the previous shows, except that his shirt is actually long enough now to cover his stomach now. Even though in the day he became Hokage, he wears the outfit he wore the entirety of Part 2, and then the last. Which I'm like, that's a little odd. But I don't mind the updated attire. It looks nice for him. Yeah, and he, of course, is investigating. Apparently, what sort of behind this is something called the Hiroshima Cell, and there's mentions of the Foundation. And apparently, according to Sai, apparently this Foundation, because there was no mention exactly what happened to them after Danzo's death, now we finally get an explanation of what happened to them. They disbanded. Though there's a suggestion also that they may have not disbanded. Yeah, not the first time the Foundation has done this. They also did this. It was referenced in whatchamacallit. It was referenced in I think it was in the previous Naruto show, Naruto excuse me, Shippuden, where after the Uchiha clan massacre, um, the Third Hokage ordered that the disband, and apparently they did disband, even though they never did. So they've been ordered to, but they've never actually disbanded. So according to what people know, they are apparently disbanded. And Sai, as far as I can tell, has nothing really much to do with them anymore. As for what his job is now, I mean, Shikahamaru, he's basically Naruto's advisor. Fine. But what's Sai's job? He's probably like working for the police department. It's never stated exactly what he's doing. Also, this is something very odd for him. He never did this in the original show. Apparently, he's doing something that Jiraiya was known for doing. Carrying a big scroll just below his back. I'm like, really? Why? Now, I get the reason why he does this because he gets the Super Beast scroll type of thing. But normally he carries that scroll thing in his backpack, not a big giant scroll attached to his waist. Yeah, this is something that I think is a bit odd for him, but it's interesting development. Maybe after, as far as I know, I don't think he ever. I don't know. I don't remember in the original show, in Shippuden, if he ever actually met Jiraiya. Not that I could think of, no. But maybe Naruto maybe spoke about him a few times and probably mentioned that he carried a big scroll on his waist. Yeah, he probably mentioned that to him a few times. That's probably the reason why he's doing it. Yeah, it's just a possibility. And also, one of my favorite scenes in this whole entire episode is Naruto Hinata at home, basically because Naruto has to spend the night at the office again. And she's helping him pack, and they have a good conversation with each other. And you get a chance to see sort of basically Hinata holding Naruto. Like, seeing this scene, basically, it's the first time in the whole series they've actually done this. And this is really nice for the creators to do this. To do something like a nice nod to the fact that these two are married, very happy with each other. And the fact that Naruto knows never to cheat Hinata. Because he worked so hard to get the far as he did, basically becoming a Hokage, becoming a husband, and later becoming a father. He worked so hard. He does not want to ruin this at all. Despite the fact he may not be a good father, but he's a damn good husband. Yeah. And he mentions also he grew up without a father. So basically he kind of doesn't know how to interact with his own son. So Hinata kind of feels the same way because her father was away a lot on clan business, or at least training with her sister. So Hinata does feel Naruto's pain. But yeah, and then of course we jump the next day where they're going back to the post office. Apparently, after all the deliveries they made in the previous episode, one scene I thought was really funny was basically because Boruto, Shikai, and Mitsuke got work at the post office, they did some deliveries. And during their break, Boruto saw Naruto doing a ribbon cutting. Okay, a ribbon cutting with giant scissors. I've been to a lot of ribbon cuttings, and those are always nice to go to, but the thing is, I've never actually seen scissors actually do that. The giant scissors. I've only seen it in movies, or at least here. Usually, a lot of the time, basically, the scissors are just fake scissors, and we use other scissors to make it look like that way. Yeah, that's why a lot of ribbon cuttings basically are done down here in Florida. But as using giant metal scissors, they're kind of hard to come by. So it's nice to see that. Apparently, now, this is probably one of the perks of being Hokage. Now, Kakashi did this also. It was shown one of the episodes, in the last episode of Naruto Shippuden, where he actually did in fact do this, where he did a ribbon cutting. Which, as Hokage, he has that privilege to go to these ribbon cuttings and just cut the ribbon. Because he's an important person and he wanted to do it. I think it was open up some new wing to some new building. Maybe it was a hospital or something like that. But who knows? I don't know what it was. But Boruto and Naruto have a nice conversation. And of course, He meets and of course the post guy who was working with him had never met the Hokage before, and he never knew Boruto was the Hokage's son. He didn't know that. He was kind of nervous around the Hokage. A lot of people would definitely be nervous around the Hokage, especially if someone's like. Now, in the case of the third Hokage, people weren't as nervous around him, but people are nervous around Naruto because the guy is not only Hokage, but the guy is also an international celebrity. So I kind of get the reason why that the guy was nervous around him. But meanwhile, the next day, basically something happened with him. He had to redeliver all the stuff that that Boruto, Shikai, and Mitsuki delivered. Apparently, a lot of stuff got delivered to wrong places. I'm kind of like, how? I'm sure that he probably got to the right. From what I can tell, from I can tell what Mitsuki was doing. He was actually looking at the addresses, looking to see where they're probably supposed to go, and just delivered them. And also, they one of the places they went to was to the village water plant, and they ran into Shishimori and her friends there. And they met, and her friend's like, yeah, this is kind of boring. The only reason why she wants to put on a nice face for Boruto because, well, all the viewers know she has a thing for Naruto. Not Naruto. She has a thing for Boruto. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the two different things, Boruto and Naruto. Everybody can tell. All the viewers can tell that she has a thing for Boruto. She just wants to be nice to him, and of course, it's a similar thing with Hinata and Naruto, the way it was in the original series. It's similar, but not exactly a carbon copy. She may do some similar things that Hinata was doing when she was younger, but she's not, like, watching him, or who knows what. Yeah, but, yeah, and then, of course, because of stuff they did the day before, they're sent to... Now, I'm not sure exactly how long this thing is supposed to be, because Shino never brought up exactly how long. I thought maybe, like, one day. No, they go back next day for some reason, because they like doing it. I have no idea why. Yeah, it's never stated exactly how many days it's supposed to do this. But, yeah. I mean, getting work experience outside the Ninja Academy is fine. It's a nice bit of storytelling. But, yeah, and of course, they had, as a punishment for screwing up the delivery, of course, the guy had to re-deliver stuff. And, of course, the punishment is to count stamp sheets. Okay? Sounds like a very boring job to do. I'm sure delivery is probably a lot more easier. Now, one thing that kind of bugs me about the Naruto universe is that, now, I get the fact there's no cars. Now, couldn't these postmen use the ninja skills to actually, deliver these posted things no problem? I guess not. They've heard just walking around the village. And all of a sudden, there's an incident at the power plant, the water plant, and of course, Boruto, basically worrying about the class rep, basically rushes to get over there, and the episode ends with Shusumari looking like she's unconscious behind some water, behind some wall, and she's unconscious, looks like she's injured, and that's where the episode ends. Next episode is basically going to be the consequences of the ending of this episode, which is going to be something. And looks like that Sakura is going to make her first appearance in the series. You know what I can tell with Sakura? The pink hair. Yep. Sakura makes her first appearance in the series. And of course, apparently looks like also next episode, Naruto tells Boruto to back off. Why? Because one of his friends was injured? Really? Okay, Naruto has been told to do that for several occasions, but he doesn't back off. He basically he ignores those things. He ignores orders basically to back off. He ignores the back off orders. He does this a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised that Boruto did the same thing. Yep. I think next week's episode is basically called it's called Shadow of the Mastermind, and it looks like the class Shumri is gonna be fine because she's in the hospital. She got bandaged up. And it looks like Boruto is going to do something similar, basically the whole fist thing, where he's going to like promise to help her, kind of similar with the promise with Naruto, between Naruto and Sakura, when he promised to bring Sasuke home, even though he never did. It's similar to that, but it's probably a different promise. That's my guess, but. Next week's episode is definitely something I'm looking forward to. This episode was actually really good. It advanced the plot of the storyline a bit, and we got a chance to see Sai, which was a breath of fresh air. Naruto Hinata interacting, which is really nice. And also, Hinata interacting with Shino for the first time in the series. Also really nice. Of course, as I mentioned, Tamari, though, she's only appeared for one episode. I would have liked if she actually appeared more than one episode, but who knows? Maybe she might appear in the future. I'm still curious, though, when they gonna show Gaara. Gaara, Kiba. Yeah, there's still some characters who have not shown up yet from the previous generation who not show up in the series. The only ones I can think of have been Gaara, Conqueror. Let's see. The only ones I can think of who show up in this show: Gaara, Conqueror, Kiba. Rock Lee has not shown up yet. Tenten hasn't shown up yet. I know that Mike Guy hasn't shown up, and near is Kakashi. Koronai hasn't showed up. Mary. Trying to think, is there anybody else who hasn't shown up yet? No, I think that's it. They're the only ones who haven't shown up yet. But majority of everybody else. Oh, Ino hasn't shown up yet either. But yet, up until this episode, Sai had not appeared. And yet, here's Sai in this episode. So yeah, good episode. I do recommend it. It's a little bit better than last week's episode because it looks like it actually, even though last week's episode did progress that plot line with the whole thing with Boruto's eye forward, but this one actually advanced the story of the series further. It wasn't like a monster of the week. It actually sort of advanced a lot of stuff. And Cho get a chance to use her partial expansion jutsu, which was nice. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for next week for episode 11 and my thoughts on that. And soon you're gonna see share my thoughts with Edgar when he does his review of this episode. Okay, but until then, I will see you there. Bye.